What's going on? So today I'm going to be teaching you the basics of Lightroom. So I've been using Lightroom for years now, and so right now I'm just going to teach you all the basics from how to organize your photos, how to edit, and all the type of stuff to do. I've actually just recently updated this, so you'll be the whole entire thing. This is also in June of 2023. So if you're watching this from years ago, I'll suggest watching this. Watching the newer one rather than this one. But anyways, so this is Lightroom here. So you've got all photos here. So you've actually the dates of when you import them. So make sure to import them on the same day, so then that way it can collect it. And then it's also got the recent edits. So there's the side here. So this is where you add your photos and stuff. And then there'll be so for example, something like this, where you have the locations and stuff like that, where you have your device. So your SD card will say untitled, because that's what some of them are. Sometimes they've entitled, or sometimes they have names and whatever. And then you've also got by date. So you got the year as well. So you got 2023 until 2022. You can buy an additional storage for your thing. So all you need to do is go up here, and you've actually got the storage called the cloud storage. But you can view plans and stuff, and it's currently syncing. I don't know what it's been doing that for bloody years, but yeah. Anyways, so you've actually got up here. I recently have done shorts of the organizing thing, but I'll tell you all about it. So the one thing I really like using is the stars. The stars. So I really like this when I'm if I'm done with the editing part. I would like to just put it as the 5 stars, and then if I want to edit again, I'll just go towards the 5 stars, go by the date of when I import it, and then there you go. So you got here, you can actually have no edited. So if you want to edit some more photos, but then you don't want the edited ones there, you just press this and you go no, or you press yes, and then there'll be a lot of them included in there. And then etc. So then they also have the 5-star thing as well. So and you've also got the type photo or raw. I wouldn't really touch it unless you're working with raw photo. I'm working with raw photos anyways, so there's no point of that. You've also got camera, so you can have your Canon, obviously whatever camera you're using. There you go, because I don't think you're gonna be a Canon user, or you might be. I don't know. Who knows? You've got that sync status as well, which is completely fine. But yeah, that's about it. You can tag them. Oh, there you go. You can actually tag. You can actually add some keywords in there as well, which is great. Because I actually thought that because you used to be able to tag in color and stuff like that. But I don't think you can, so you can only add keywords in, which is okay. So yeah, so this is actually, so up here you can actually do the custom settings, so your own settings or whatever. You got your small JPEGs, you got your large, you got your original, and you can actually have some previous settings as well, which is also fantastic to have. You can also get a link or invite people, or you can share it to the community, which I never really do. I probably should, to be honest, but I never really do. And also down here you can actually have your photos like this, so then that way you can just look through them and stuff like that, and say you got a 5-star thing and stuff like that. So then there you go. And also you can also copy your edit settings. So if you want to copy your own preset settings and go like that, boom boom boom, you can. I don't really, unless unless the photo looks the exact same, then I'll do it anyway. And then so you've also got some settings. You can select what the copy of settings you can have as well, which is also fantastic for Lightroom as well. So that is all the all the up and down settings as well. You can also zoom in, so then that way you've got everything covered. And yeah. So let's go straight through over here. So they have updated a few things for me, which I actually don't even know. So this is my first time actually opening Lightrooms. So this is the presets. I've actually done a video on this recently. If it can click, there you go. I've actually done a video on this recently where I've actually was trying to use AI presets from Lightroom, and actually seeing if it's better than my editing. and seeing if I can actually, if it's actually usable for Instagram or social media, which it is. It's not. It's good and not bad, but like so Lightroom will suggest some photos of I don't know what's going on here with Lightroom. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there you go. So it will actually have some presets of its own that will suggest to edit and stuff like that, which is completely it's completely fine. You've also got the premium, so there's heaps of them in there which I never really use, or you either got your own, which I do, which they're all pretty weird names, but you know, you gotta make your own. Sometimes I've just been testing them out every now and then sometimes I will adjust them, but I probably will be making more presets once I get, you know, back in the hang of it, because I've been shooting more video than photo than ever. But like, anyways, so you can add your own presets in if you're good enough, or either you can teach yourself how to edit and then, you know, apply it to more of your photos and stuff like that. Alrighty, so this is my favorite bit here. Just get rid of the preset thing here. So you've actually got your profile here, which is Adobe Color. I would just let it stay as it is, because, or either if you're working in black and white, use monochrome because it seems better. So that way, or you can just press black and white. You also got the auto one, which I'll press right now, and it will just do it for me. There, it will just do it for me here. So that's the end of the video. I'm joking, it's on the end of the video, don't worry. So you can actually undo the auto settings, which is a lot more easier than going like, and you, because then you know, resetting it and stuff like that, because you used to just be able to reset it. Anyways, so you got the exposure here, so you got the light settings as well. I'll show you everything, so let's just go ahead and just, you know, so you got the light, color, effects, detail, optics, and I can't say that word, geometry. There you go. Well done. Anyways, so you got all these type of things as well, which are very good. So this is, you know, your exposure, your contrast, highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks. So you can just play around with them. Obviously, I'm actually gonna edit this one, so this actually looks pretty cool. So you've got your contrast and stuff. I used to like contrast heaps, so there's that too. Highlights, you've also got your highlights. Always, like, you know, play around with it so you know what's going on with the photo and stuff, and seeing what Lightroom is, you know, detecting and stuff like that, because sometimes it can be you know, a bit meh, but it's okay. You've also got your shadows, which is heaps cool. I don't actually mind the shadows in this. I don't really mind editing like at all. So you got your whites as well. I've always calmed down the whites if I'm playing around with the sky as well, and there'll be another section as well. So you also got your blacks as well, which is obviously playing with the blacks and stuff like that as well. So I'm actually just gonna like I'll edit this later probably, but I'm just gonna use it for this video anyway. So you've also got your point curve, which I always use. This point curve. You've also got your red and green, I'm just gonna call that mint, because that looks like a mint color, so I'm gonna call it mint color at the moment. You've also got your green and purples as well. You've got your blues and yellows as well, and you've also got your, it'll actually say how much, you know, highlights, lights, darks, and shadows and stuff like that, which is quite cool. But I always use this as well. And you've also got this section here where you can actually, like, you know, oh. Yeah, there you go. See, if you're gonna select the blues and stuff, it will just do it like that. Which I'm gonna do it like that, because I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that's alright. Alright, anyway, so you've got the point curve, which I always use, so there's that too. So you've got your color, which is obviously plays with the color. I tend to not stay away, but tend to like not use too much color as a photographer. For me, I like to have my photos quite dark. Sometimes I'll add in color, depending on what the subject and what the photo is, because if it's like something that's gonna be like really colorful, for example, like a long exposure or something like that, then I'll use colors, absolutely. But like if it's like something like this, where it's like dark, you know, near, like, you can't actually see, but it's like nearly 4 o'clock, so there's that too. So I usually like to, you know, play around with, you know, the darks and stuff like that. I like to have my things moody. But anyways, so you got your color. So you got your temp as well. You also got, so this is like a more cooler. You've also got your warm colors and stuff. You've also got green and blues. You've also got the vibrance. Make sure not to use too much saturation of vibrance, as it will make your photo really cartoony, depending on what the photo is, obviously. You've also got your color mixer. This is always helpful. Color mixer is always helpful for everything, I think, because it will like desaturate. So say for example there's like too much of the color, you can just desaturate it and then there you go. It's literally that easy. But always see what the area is. Get rid of it. So you can always just zoom in. It's always great and helpful. So then if you're desaturating something, always zoom in and see what's affecting, so then that way you're not affecting everything else besides that. And you've also got your color grading, which is always helpful. I always use this, as you can actually select one of each other. So then that way, I'll show you what it does. So literally, you can select what color it is. So right now, if I'm gonna use the purple here or pink, I can just actually really use it to my advantage and go like that. There. It will just like really play around with the mid-tones and stuff. So we'll actually do the exact same thing as like the basics up here, as like the light, but except it will use the color, not like the black and whites and stuff like that. It will just like use its color. So that way, it's easier. So you also got your shadows, your highlights, stuff like that. You've also got your blending and balance as well, which is always helpful. So then to make sure that there's not too much or too little, I always play that around, because it's just going to be helpful for you. It's just going to be helpful in a way to know what's, to know what color is affecting what in that way. So alrighty, so that's the color done. So we got the old effects as well, which I never really use. I used to use effects heaps when I was starting out. Please just don't use dehaze. It makes your photo ugly as hell. I'll display some photos around the screen somewhere. So I wouldn't really use this as the only time I use this is the vintage or the grain, depending on if people want their photos a bit more noisy or grainy, because sometimes grainy photos can actually be really nice, and like old style film, which is quite nice. So I'll just show you what the dehaze does. Not really the greatest example, but yeah. See, it would just like really darken like the areas, like here. It would really darken those areas. And then now you can actually see it's affecting there. And texture and clarity, texture will make everything like really like smooth, which is quite nice. But then like you don't want to have that too much, because it's just gonna look like really arty in a way. If you're going for that arty way, then go for it, man. But yeah, I would only use vintage, as would darken the areas and stuff. So like an ND filter, for example. My ND filter, actually one of them, which was for my old camera, would actually darken those areas and have that vintage way. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm pretty sure it's a bad thing, because you don't really want that, because it will just do too much. It'll do too much anyways. So that's the effects panel. You've also got your detail panel. So this is actually a new feature called noise reduction. So you can actually reduce your noise with AI. So let's say, for example, let's just actually go to like a good set. Let's go like this. So for example, denoise. So if I denoise this right now, it would actually use the AI to like result into a DNG file. And you can actually have your manual noise reduction as well. So obviously noise is, it's not that great, but like this is my first time actually using this section, because I've never really had to use this noise reduction, so we're just going to test it out today. So you'll be getting a first glance of this into the noise reduction. Oh, it actually see it enhance. Okay, let me just read this to you. Enhance uses AI to improve image quality. The result will be saved as a DNG. So you can actually like reduce or increase the amount of denoise. So right now we're actually getting a preview of it. That's pretty cool. And it'll actually have an estimate time of 7 minutes, because there's also a landscape photo, so there's that too. I would not be using this. I'm gonna say no, but that is what it does. So luckily it didn't do it automatically. I thought it was gonna do it automatically, but it didn't. So thank God for that. So that's good. Alrighty. So right now, so that's actually a new feature. So that's a new feature for me. You always go optics, so it will actually automatically know what. Well, it won't automatically know, but you have to set up all this type of stuff for your camera, so then that way it's got the corrections and always have the chromatic. I can't say that word. I can't. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say. Just the chromatic, so it's not like so it's not warmth. Like it doesn't look like a. It just makes it flatten. It makes the photo flat. Yeah, that's the optics for you. Oh god, what have I done? There we go. So that's the optics. Obviously, it will just have like the distortion and stuff. So right now, it actually knows that I actually use the Canon RF 18 to 150mm lens for the Canon R7. If you want to go check out the Canon R7 video, that'll be great, because that's a good review. It's about a half an hour of me shooting with this camera with street photography, so there'll actually be another video coming out with that as well. So anyways, so you got your geometry, so you've also got like your upright, you got your distortion. So that's what distortion does. So it would just literally that's what the photo would have looked like if I didn't have chromatic stuff on. Horizontal, well, these are pretty, it's pretty basic of what geometry does. If you don't know, it will just be the cropping section and stuff like that as well. So let's actually go towards the cropping section. So the cropping section is probably the best thing, probably the underrated thing for most people. So you obviously have your straighten, and then you also have your auto, which is 0. So if you go in like this, and then you press enter or whatever, just make sure to have it straight, obviously. You've also your crop overlay, which is a thirds, fifths, diagonal. So the thirds will have, a grid. So it'll just actually be showing you. It won't show me. Oh, there we go. So that's the thirds. That's the fifths. So it will just have like lines there to make sure that it's lining up and stuff like that. So always have your photos lined up between these here, because if you're using a person and stuff and you want it straight, so then that way it's not wonky as hell, because some photos can be very not straight, as if you're using like a sunrise, for example. Always have it straight, because it just annoys people, depending on who's viewing it, obviously, if they're not professional and whatnot. Anyways, so you got aspect ratio. So you can actually have it custom or as the shot and stuff. So for Instagram and stuff, I would be using a 4x5, because that's what Instagram apparently likes. And so if you're going to be using this for Instagram, you'd be using a 5x4, depending on, or you can have it as the original from Instagram, but if you're going to be using portraits, 4x5. There you go. Of course, you go flip and rotating section here as well. You've also got the healing one, which I never really had to use unless I wanted to. But this is actually a good section where you can actually it's telling me right now. Content aware remove, which is great. It's a good section. I never really use it because I never really touched it, because I really had no idea. So with the healing one, I never really had to use it. So because I never really gone into it too much, but it will do the exact same as the Photoshop one. So this does have little sections of Photoshop. There's also Lightroom Classic and also Lightroom Photoshop. So this one has a bit of bit of Photoshop in there. So there's that too. So this is all of it. It would actually, Lightroom will help you of what to know and stuff like that. So you got your visual spots and stuff like that. So yeah, so we'll be going through. So you got your content aware remove. You've also got the heal, and you've also got the clone. So you can actually clone of what you want. So let's say, for example, I want to get this, for example. And then right now I want to put that all the way here. Oh, okay, I see. Sorry, this is my first time using this. I do apologize. It's not great, but that's what it does. So we'll just get removing the thing anyway. All right, let's just undo that part. Yeah, let's just undo that. Anyways, my favorite section of all, the masking. So the masking will have the subject, the sky, or the background. So you can literally, if I select the sky right now, AI will automatically select the sky. It will detect it, so it's like detecting sky, and then it will probably detect this part at its best, I hope. So right now it's detected the sky. So if you literally, it'll do the exact same thing as like the editing part at the top, except you're only touching the sky. So if I'm going to use the sky, it will darken the areas because I've got the exposure down and stuff. You've also got the amount if you're using a preset and whatnot, and also you can create a new mask with it as well if you want to, you know, have objects, brush, a linear. This gradient here is actually quite cool. I will be showing you that right now. So if you just click on anything, and then if you drag it, the red area will be affected. Like the red area is the only part affected. So right now, if I wanted to really just go like that, actually it's pretty nice because I just got rid of all the sunshine, but that's alright. And then if you really want to do the shadows, you can. So then that way, whatever's affected from that red area is affected. So right now, if you just want to get rid of it, which we will anyway. So that's the masking tool anyway. So you've also got your yeah, so you got heaps of things, heaps of options in terms of masking and stuff like that. So yeah, so you've also got this. You've also got versions. You can actually create versions for this as well. So you've actually got like whatever you've edited and stuff, it will save any versions of this. So we just create a new version. Just call it. So if you're editing this, right, it will keep the original. It'll keep the original photo, but then if you have like an edited version, let's just say we just call this edited version, or edited photo. There you go, edited photo. It will actually create that version of the photo. So if I select it now, right now the edited photo is there. You've also got the original. There you go. So it's basically that is about it. You've also got the copy settings as well. You've also got the show histogram, which is also quite nice. So histogram is actually a tool. So right now it's actually detecting the dark. So the left side is the dark side, and obviously the right side is the brighter side. So yeah. Alright, that'll be the end of the video, guys. Hope you guys do enjoy this tutorial. Hopefully you got something out of this. Please let me know down in the comments below if you want me to do more of these tutorials, and if you want me to do Premiere Pro next as well. So yeah, please like and subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one.